All right, guys, welcome back. Another episode of your favorite guy getting his steps on a treadmill. Today's episode is going to be an interesting one. We're going to talk about. There's lots of ways you can title this one. The only thing you should use to attract women, why you should never use money to attract women. What do women actually want? That's another good one. You get the kind of idea. The pros and cons of using emotions versus tangible things. Let's dive into it. Now, if you like content like this, hit the subscribe button. I'm a broken record. Let's get this channel to 1,000 subs. That is the goal for this year. All right, guys. So, got a frog in my throat again. So, let's start with money, because that's like the most interesting one, right? Now, money. Why should you never use money to attract women? Okay. Now, now you gotta ask yourself, why does money seem to attract women in the first place, right? It doesn't. That's the key thing. This is something that the red pill / manosphere swamp gets horrendously wrong. And this is kind of how you can tell that those guys aren't. I'm not sure if they've had like a genuine attraction from a woman before. Let me explain. So there's okay. How do I word this? There's like there's like a split in the middle between like genuine attraction and objective like good partner qualities. Does that make sense? And you could call this beta and alpha as well, but it's not quite that. It's more like long-term boyfriend qualities, and like it doesn't even necessarily have to be like visceral attraction. It could just be like, I just like this guy for who he is. Like there's something about him. There's something about him is the emotions that you can give her, right? And then it's gonna be basically the only tool you should ever use. Not a tool, but the only thing that you should use to attract women is emotional stimulation. It should never be anything that makes you a good long-term partner, which is what money is, right? Now, the reason why so many manosphere guys get this wrong is because they're so it's like they're doing men a real disservice, man. They're so hyper fixated on looks, money, status, height, the car that you drive, like all this shit, man. And let me tell you, that does not attract. Oh, I guess, okay, we need to define these terms. Like, it can attract a woman, but it won't make a woman attracted to you. Does that make sense? Like, if you're a very, very, very rich guy, like a multi-billionaire throwing hundreds of thousands of dollars around, yes, you will have a lot of women that you are attracting, right? Is it the woman that wants you, though? Now, let me give you a hypothetical example of why this is important. You need to conceptualize this. Okay. When a girl is 20, 21, 22 years old, okay, she's not particularly looking for the long-term boyfriend type of things, right? They're more looking to party and have fun. So, who is she gonna go for? She is gonna go for the guy that makes her feel a certain way. We've talked about this in other videos before, what hypergamy actually is. Hypergamy is the feeling that you can give that girl. And if you can give her more of an emotional stimulation over her boyfriend or husband, you are the hypergamous male in that scenario, right? It's all about emotions, which is what you want to do. You want to use, so when you're, like, we can go over the different types of emotion as well. So different girls will respond to I'm sure you've noticed this. Different girls will respond to different emotional triggers. And that's kind of how you know which ones vibe with you personally. That's a good filtering mechanism. So like, this is something you would only experience if you go out a lot and talk to a lot of women. So like, you can have 5 women standing in a line and they all wearing the same dress. And you could be like, that dress does, you could be like, negging is so lame, but you could be like, that dress makes your feet look funny or something like that. That dress makes your big toe look bigger than normal. Something funny, but also kind of a neg, right? Now, let's say that's just like your type of comedy. You just like saying that kind of shit. Well, 1 out of the 5 girls will respond positively to that, right? Like the witty banters type. One of the girls will respond to, you look very nice in that dress. Like you're like, that dress is banging on you, right? Another one might be like, so why did you wear that dress out tonight? More of a questionnaire, curiosity of emotion, right? So like, depending on the emotion, so this is kind of based on how you are as well, right? That's why you kind of naturally, that's why you should never try to force a vibe with a girl. If the vibe is there, the vibe is there, right? Don't worry about it. But basically, the emotional trigger that you give that woman is what's attracting her to you. Do you know what I'm saying? Because when you're talking with that girl and you're having fun together, whether it be insulting banter, dude, some girls like just being outright degraded. Like, I mean, they all kind of do in the bedroom, but like, I mean, like, some girls just want to be insulted. I actually have a friend that's kind of like that. The more I insult her, the more turned on she gets. I don't like that personally because it doesn't work for me. I wouldn't be able to maintain that long term is what I'm saying, right? But some chicks love that shit. They love it. So that makes her attracted to a person, right? Now, back to the whole age thing. So the 20-year-old girl is linking up with whatever guy is emotionally attracting her, right? Now, she's not worried about money or status or security or any of that shit yet, right? Now, what happens when she turns 30 or 35? The money is who she chooses when the fun time is over. Let me repeat that one more time. The money is what she chooses when playtime is over. Okay? That's critical to understand. And you'll know, man. You'll know. Here's how you'll know. Let's say you're on a date with a girl, and it's the same girl, but 2 different kind of age eras. When she's younger, you'll notice that she's not asking you the resume style questions. Now, to be fair, some 30-year-old girls don't do this either. Those ones are keepers. it's not about the age thing. It's about where their priorities lie, right? Again, this is also why younger women are so much more. Dude, I tell you, maybe we'll save this for another video, but the reason why younger women are more attractive, it's like they're not necessarily sometimes more physically attractive. Like they're not. Some chicks age like milk. It's just that when they're younger and they don't have like the resume on the mind, they're just much more fun to be around, right? Like straight up. So you're on a date with a girl who's younger and she'll just like play with you, like banter. Like it's more of a play and a dance, right? When you go out with an older gal that is attracted to money, this is why I think those manosphere guys might be, I don't know what's going on there, but like they focus on money way too much, man. Well, I'll tell you why money is a big problem. Even if she is attracted to you, I'll tell you why. If the same girl is asking you resume style questions, then you know it's when a girl is asking you resume questions, you can remove you from that equation and insert any male into that equation. That's the biggest problem. Now, guys don't realize this shit. So if any man can fit the resume and you just happen to be the first one that fits the resume and she settles for you, you never gave her the emotional stimulation that she needed to feel attracted to you, to want to jump your bones. She never got that from you. What do you think is gonna happen in a few years, 5 years, 10 years, when a guy rolls around and gives that emotional stimulation to her, when it reminds her what real attraction feels like? This is so key. I'm dropping bombs here, man. Women cheat. They have affairs, etc., when the guy they're having an affair with gives her the emotional trigger she needs to feel attraction, when her husband or man does not. Okay? This is critical. So, what happens if you lead with money? Basically, what you're displaying to the girl, it's almost like a beta type of behavior where it's like, I'm displaying to the girl that I'm not funny and I don't stimulate any emotion, and I'm using money and status as a way of like almost bypassing the need to be charismatic. Like, I'm gonna use money, like, it's almost like a crutch. It's like guys use money as crutches, right? I've fallen into that trap too, Bill, to be fair. It's easy, that's why. But trust me, easy in the way of, let me explain. It's weird, man. With humans, it's almost better to be broke. So like, when you have money, you tend to want to, it's not like even intentional, but it's like, you want to like display your successes to the woman, which is wrong again, but you want to display your successes to the woman, therefore you take her on like a nice expensive date or whatever, but she doesn't view it that way. She views it as this nerd beta is trying to bypass attraction and lock me into a financial situation, right? So when she's 30, 35, 40, and you start leading with money, you will get a partner very fast. Not a partner. You will get a gold digger. Not even a gold digger. It's not like, they're not doing it on purpose though, that's the thing. They're just like, I want secure, it's like, they kind of know that the emotional stimulation doesn't serve them by that point, because if it did, they would have landed a guy by now. So they know the emotional stimulation doesn't serve them logically, so they go for the guy with money because it's the logical solution. And then they just like, they don't want to have sex with you. But the guy that uses money doesn't know that, because the guy that uses money, that's why they're such easy targets for these girls, like, to be manipulated. Because they've never actually ever attracted a woman through nothing but emotional stimulation before, which is what burning desire is. When that woman just wants you, right? Here's another example. You start dating a girl, or you start seeing her. One girl, if you reply within 5 to 10 minutes, that's very good for her. Another girl will think that's too soon, or you're too available. Another girl will think nothing of it, like they won't even think about it. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you are just a really busy guy, and you do respond the next day. But that girl finds that attractive because you're not available. Do you know what I'm saying? Different strokes for different folks, right? That's why any of these pickup tactics of you trying to shove a square peg in a round hole, it doesn't work long term, man. Because fundamentally, what you're trying to do, instead of using money to attract her, you're trying to use emotions that you don't have to attract her. You're trying to, like, be a chameleon. Play devil's advocate. Let's say you actually do end up getting that girl not being who you are. The jig is up in a year or two. You can't maintain that. And then eventually she's gonna get bored, because she's not gonna understand why either, but she's gonna get bored because you're not emotionally stimulating her the way you did at the beginning of the relationship. She's gonna go find a guy that will. So what do you do then, right? So it's the same thing when it comes to, like, status or skill sets or assets. Like, hey, come look at my house. You know, it's all the same shit. It has nothing to do with emotions. Funny enough, what is the number one way to attract a girl? Or to get her to feel genuine attraction for you? Jealousy, FOMO. What is jealousy? It's a very strong emotion. Do you know what I'm saying? You start seeing a trend here? Now, this never goes away, guys. This never goes away. And you shouldn't want it to go away either. It's not good, man. What I mean by that is, like, no matter how old you get, you need to know the difference between a girl that's attracted to you because of you and you emotionally stimulating her, or if she's there for what you can provide for her. It never goes away. And this is gonna annoy a lot of guys, because they don't like that shit. Because it would be, here's the thing, it would be easier to just attract a woman through assets and money, wouldn't it? It's such an easier, tangible goal to achieve. And then a lot of these guys will be like, yeah, we need to go back to the 40s and the 50s and the 30s where women stayed home and the guy made the money and all that. Do you know what was actually happening there, though? Back in those days, it wasn't attraction. It was a form of, like, imprisonment. Because, female psychology hasn't changed. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, over the last, even let's say the last like 1,000 years, evolution doesn't change that fast, right? It takes millions of years for evolution to change. So even if you take like 500 years, the female psychology, the woman of today is the exact same as the woman 500 years ago, okay? The difference is they have a choice now. Back then they didn't. They weren't allowed to work. They weren't allowed to go to secondary education. They weren't allowed to vote, hold land, have bank accounts. They didn't have a choice. So basically, their only choice was to make a logical decision for survival. The logical decision being, grab any guy you can that can provide for you. It was pure survival. They had no other choice. That's not a good thing. So basically, almost every single marriage, or some people are like, our grandparents had it better. I don't know, man. You don't know that. You don't know that. That grandpa might have never known what real genuine attraction was, because he was just a provider and she was locked into a system that never gave her a chance to choose. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, again, this might make a lot of guys angry, because that does sound nice, doesn't it? Yeah, man, it's kind of twisted, because it's like, fundamentally what we're saying is, I want this gender, or I want this half of the population of Earth to suffer to make my life easier. That's basically what guys are saying, right? If you think about it. It's like, I want you to have no opinion and no rights so that I don't have to worry about attraction and I can just go to work and come home and everything. Like, the attraction part of it is settled. You know what I'm saying? And then she will get shamed by the church and stuff to have sex with you. And you're never the wiser. The guy never went to the club and built attraction and grinded with the chick. Do you know what I'm saying? It's fascinating. So, we can't go back to those old days, man. I truly don't know if that was better or not. I don't think it was, just because if you're a guy and you have experienced what genuine desire is, if you've experienced what genuine desire feels like in a bedroom, it's the whole air conditioning principle, right? It's like, if you never experienced air conditioning in like a hot desert, you would never know what you were missing, right? But once you've experienced it, you can't really go back. So it's like, when you've experienced a genuine desire in the bedroom, it's this whole new paradigm of evolution you've just like unlocked for yourself. And it's like, oh, I see now. And then when you've unlocked that paradigm, it's like, oh, I kind of feel sorry for all these previous generation of women that actually never got to choose who they wanted to choose. They were basically just slaves. Right up until like what, 40 years ago, the 80s or whatever, 70s, they were slaves up until then. It's crazy to think about, man, because they had no choice. Now, fast forward to 2026, women have a choice. Here's the thing. If they have a choice, put it this way, they have jobs, they can make their own money, they can buy their own houses, they can have their own status, they can do everything men were taught to provide for them, they can now do on their own. What is the one thing they can't provide themselves? Sometimes. They can't provide an emotional stimulation or that visceral attraction from a man. That's it. That's all that's left. You need to just become attractive. That doesn't mean physically. That means mentally. You need to stimulate her emotions. Now, here's why I actually like this. I like this. This makes it easier for us to vet women too, man. If you know that that girl can make her own money, but she still asks you to pay for dates, that's a red flag. You're like, what the hell, right? That's a red flag. If she comes over to your house for Netflix and chill on the second date, she brings you over some home-baked cookies, you know she's there for you. And you know she's there because you stimulate something inside her to make her want to do that for you. Bro, I don't know how to, this whole money, looks, and status thing on the internet, my God, is it doing the biggest disservice to men. It almost feels like a little bit of a psyop, because it's like, these red pill dudes, man, they're like, don't worry about talking to women in your 20s. Just go make a whole bunch of money and wait until you're 40, and then you'll have women lined up to be with you. It's like, yeah, no shit. No shit. You got a whole bunch of chicks. It's like it's almost like they're saying this stuff on purpose to, like, here's the psyop part of it, the conspiracy. I think these, like, red pill dudes are telling incels this stuff to get them out of the way. It's almost like a global, it's like removing your competition from the market on a global scale. If you tell an entire generation of young men to just go to work and focus on themselves and not worry about women, now you got an entire generation of men that will never know what genuine desire is, how to stimulate it, and how to actually know if a woman likes you or not. Because they're gonna hit 35, 40, they'll have $1 million, and then a girl will be like, that same girl will have banged like 10 dudes the week before and sucked like 2 dicks at once, and she'll go on a date with this poor guy, and she will act like a virgin and proper because she knows that's what he wants to see to get the result that she wants. And then she takes half his money in a divorce. Congratulations, guys. Way to tell guys to focus on themselves. Congratulations on screwing over an entire generation of dudes. Just focus on yourself, bro. Make the money and they will come. Maybe that's what I'll make the title of the video. Make money and they will come. The worst advice you can ever give a man. Ever. Anyway, guys, if you like this content, if you want me to elaborate, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. And I will see you in the next one. Never, ever use money or status. Only try to make her laugh. However that looks, depending on that girl, make her laugh. That's it. Later.